Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Last week we talked a little bit about gut health and minding our gut. And this week I wanted to move a little further north and talk a little bit about brain health and brain fitness. I'm just wondering what you all are doing for engaging and recharging your brain, and perhaps teach you a little bit about why that is important. We work out at the gym to improve muscle tone and flexibility, and we need to do the same thing in terms of brain health. We need a fitness program for brain health. As I remember being in college, and we were taught at that time that really, once you kill a brain cell, you never can recover. And, drinking a can of beer would kill so many brain cells. We were always concerned about the fact, are we killing our brain? But the reality is that actually there is this entity called neuroplasticity, which is the ability of the brain to go in and sort of prune itself and delete things that are no longer useful, and to actually strengthen new neural pathways. And we see this in many applications in traumatic brain injuries, in people who are going through cognitive behavioral type therapy. So there is this aspect of being able to exercise and or increase neural pathways, if you will. And so it's kind of important to think about that and look to ways that perhaps we can engage and optimize long-term our brain health. I tell my patients all day long, I do not want to outlive my brain. And for those of us that are dealing with older parents, we certainly can appreciate that. And it's incumbent upon us to recognize the fact that we do have some control over how our brain ages. So let's look at some ways that we can engage and recharge our brain. I think the first thing, and I've mentioned this quite a bit because I've been reading the book Why We Sleep, but get enough sleep is very vital. There is this thing that happens at night with our brain. We have this system in our brain. We've heard about the lymphatic system in our body. Well, in the brain, it's called the glymphatic, based on the glial cells in the brain, and those are active brain cells. What happens at night is these glial cells can actually shrink 40 to 60%. And so this glymphatic system, if you will, can then basically power wash the brain and eliminate all the cellular debris that we've created throughout the day. And this happens during deep non-REM sleep. So for many people, if you're not getting that deep sleep, you may not really be getting a good sort of power wash of your brain every night. That's what's been really interesting for me as I've been tracking my sleep and able to follow my REM versus non-REM sleep. And it's quite interesting to really be able to follow that. But that's one of the things that's really powerful and important in understanding about our brain health and making sure that we really focus on getting good, adequate sleep. You also want to continue to learn and to move. Movement's really important. We do exercise, but that blood flow to our brain is really powerful in terms of helping getting oxygen there and replenishing and taking nutrients to the brain itself. The brain is about 70-80% fat. That's why for many people back in the 70s, 80s, when we went really, really low fat, there was just this overwhelming issue with increasing anxiety and depression because we were just not feeding the brain the things that it needs. And we started having a lot of trans fats and all kinds of fats that were not really found in nature. And it's important then to recognize that obviously we want to get rid of all of those types of fats, but eating good, healthy fats can be very helpful. We want to try to diminish stress. Cannot emphasize that enough. Certainly in these days, stress is all around us. Minimize the news if you can. Stay away from your email late at night. In fact, it's really important to maybe block blue light at night and get off devices totally if you can, and just use ambient light with blue blockers and read a book. Lately, I've been looking at all the apps that are available out there, and there are quite a few apps that have been designed for aging brains to help charge the brain and really work it. I've done Luminosity in the past. The one I've really enjoyed lately is one called Elevate, and it has really interesting puzzles and little vignettes of word choices and vocabulary and math solving problems. And I think that can be really helpful to keep the brain engaged and doing things that we're not used to doing every day. You know, having these devices in our life has really kept us from having to lock and load phone numbers and addresses. So we really don't have that. And the studies are showing that because we can access information anytime, we really don't have to save anything within our hard drive, if you will. So it's really helpful to stay in a learning mode. You know, just get a book and read a book can be so helpful. The other thing, and lastly, I would just say is hydrate, making sure that you keep enough fluid in the system that for not only circulation of blood to the brain, but as I said, just the cleansing of the brain. So we've kind of now looked at all of these things. I would encourage you to make this a part of your daily practice just as much as you would your physical exercise, doing more mental exercise. And, you know, we have a little more time now, perhaps. If we're working from home, we're not having to do as much commuting. So take some time and really get a good brain fitness program going. If you have any questions or would like any more information, please let us know. Hope you all have a great week and continue to create great health. Till next time.